Yes. Come on in. Black and proud. Yes. That's what we are. That's what we are. Come on in, family. Smash that like button. Smash that heart button. Let's go. Stop playing. Yeah. Uh-huh. Woo, let's go. We are the people. Let's go. Smash that heart button. Smash that like button. Share to all your groups. Let's go. Y'all know what to do. Put your nines up. Let me know where you from. International Neff, I see you. International Neffer. Let's go. Come on in. Put your nines up. Uh-huh. 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 That's that Black and Proud record. If you like that, it's on all streaming platforms. Holla at your boy. That's your boy Jamaar Milton. I am your host for today. Come on in, put your nines up while I get prepared. It's Friday. So I wanted to do something a little bit different than the norm. Normally on Fridays, family, I know we usually have a lesson, but I figured today, we should start getting in the mode of talking about current events as well and things that's going on in the world, so we can look at it from a comedic perspective. Before we do that, peace to International Neff, uh, baby of the lighthouse. She likes seeing her name. That's what's up. What's up, Neffer? Um, I want to talk about a couple current events today that I think are very important throughout the community. Just hold on 1 second. We got to get it right. We want to stay in tune with what's going on in the community as we move about. So today we're going to talk about current events. I want to talk about Hurricane Ian. Also want to talk about Louis Farrakhan, RIZZA Islam, what's going on with that situation. Before we get to that, let's get the frequency right and exact. Everybody, get your power bracelets out, get your Tibet singing bowls, right? Get your incense, whatever you need to get your vibration on frequency. Let's get it going. If it ain't jumping out the bowl, it ain't ready. Yeah. Come on in. Put those nines up. Let me know where you're from. I'm about to shout out my first 9. Just let me get my potion going. My potion. It's that potion water right here, baby. Make sure y'all smash that like and that heart button. If you don't know the power of vibration and frequency in water, maybe Monday we'll start that. We'll talk about water. Mm-hmm. You can taste and feel the difference. All right, so we vibrated at 4:32 this morning, baby. We vibing over here. Make sure y'all smash that like and that heart button, and make sure you subscribe also to the program. So let's get into it. First and foremost, let's talk about the hurricane, right? Before we talk about what's going on with RIZZA, let's talk about this hurricane that we got going on down in Florida. First and foremost, I want to send nothing but positive energy, love, and light to everybody who's living in Florida who are under these conditions. I am from New York, Long Island, New York, and we have hurricanes occasionally. I'm sure many of you have heard of Hurricane Sandy. So I know what it's like to experience your house flooding, contrary to popular belief of what people have said about running into the basement. You don't run into the basement when it floods. You go somewhere else. You got to get to high ground when it's flooding, baby. You don't go to the basement. I heard somebody say get to the basement, not even knowing what the hell they're talking about. All right. But in any case, flooding is no joke, man. Just why? Because you're looking around and you're like, when is this ever going to stop? When is this water, going to reside? But I have seen that it has started to reside in many areas throughout Florida. I'm thankful for that. So I want to send my love, my light, good positive energy, perseverance energy to those living in Florida in those flooded areas. Never ever a good thing. So we see that going on a lot this week. People scrounging for water and food and the bare essentials to get by. I'm sure there were probably some lives lost. I've seen some pretty intense photos going around about it. So also we want to keep in mind, family, that a lot of these different things that you see going on with these natural disasters, what they call natural disasters, some of them aren't as natural as you think that they are. There is some programs that are out there that are dealing with weather manipulation and HARP. I'm sure many of you have heard of that, HAARP. If you haven't heard of it, definitely look it up. They do have means to control the weather, and they usually target, if you've noticed, they usually target areas that aren't that affluent. I'm hearing a lot of it, hit Fort Myers in certain areas, but you just gotta keep in mind that it's not always an accident when things happen. We just can't trust anything. We have to question everything, and we have to prove, everything that is being questioned. That is being put on the table. So, if you live in those areas, I just want to send you some love and light. Um, I don't do prayers. I'll just send you some good positive energy, and hopefully things will turn around for you guys fairly quickly. Um, but what we do have to talk about going in the conscious community, which is super striking and uh, disappointing and surprising, is that Louis Farrakhan is accusing uh, RIZZA Islam um, of the R word with his fiance. Now I can't say this word because of the algorithm. I don't want our video getting striked, but apparently um, Louis Farrakhan is publicly accusing RIZZA Islam of allegedly the R word to his fiance, who has pressed charges and uh, is seeking, uh, capital punishment against him. So, um, I'm looking at this situation, and you know, people have asked me to speak on it, and originally I wasn't going to speak on it. I was going to leave it totally alone, right? But I do recognize that, because in the past people have seen, um, me deal with him on a personal level. If those of you who don't know, we brought RIZZA Islam out here to Long Island uh, for the first time, RIZZA Islam, and we also brought Dr. Umar Johnson out here for the first time. Um, we did some work here in the projects um, that has never been done before. This is literally one of our first times interacting with one another on a business level. Me and RIZZA Islam, and before I really get into this, what I want to say is this: as far as uh, myself and my experience with this brother, um, what I want to say is he's probably one of the most genuine brothers that I've ever met. One of the realest men that I've ever met. And I know how sometimes in the past, when things happen with other people, people associate you with who you hang with, right? So we always have to keep that in mind. That's the reason why I'm speaking on this, right? Um, we did something that was never done before. We brought out several scholars to come and speak to the people in a neighborhood that had never even heard this message before, any type of awakening. And uh, RIZZA Islam was here, Brother Ben X was here, Red Pill, you can see all of them all in the picture here, Pop Darby, right, Muhammad, rest in peace to him. Um, my sister, Tazara Path, was there. Um, Squirrel Foot. I mean, it was an amazing event. We brought people from all walks of life. We had Hebrew Israelites there, Muslims there, Kemites there, the lighthouse, of course, in all their splendor, right? So, when someone accuses you of something so heinous, a crime like this, right, you can't help but to ask yourself, how did you get into this type of situation? That's one, right? And then secondly, how you deal with that situation, how that situation is going to be dealt with, what is going to be the outcome of that situation, the aftermath, is a whole nother conversation. So I think I should just play this audio. Louis Farrakhan literally dropped an audio talking about this and what RIZZA Islam is being accused of. And, Louis Farrakhan doesn't usually talk about people, right, in general, a specific person in general. It's very rare that he makes a public statement like this, but to my understanding, this clip that I'm going to play you was sent out to all the mosques for all of the Nation of Islam to partake in. So, and in this video, Louis Farrakhan is using language that I've never heard him use before. At least to my understanding, I'm not, the guy that listens to all this stuff, but he's using language and calling RIZZA Islam a nigga, essentially. So I'm just going to play this, and then, I want to get the opinions of the people. I might actually have put the link down there for you guys if you want to come on and talk about it after you hear this, because I want to get your opinion on what you think about this. It's pretty strong word. So let me play this really quick. Let me know if you guys can hear this. It takes a couple seconds for it to actually start.
But you've got to bring your...
Let's see if it's going to play.
If he laid down beside, if you're listening.
Give me 1 second, Phil. Yes, today the audio doesn't want to play. Oh, no, maybe I need to do some changes here. Bear with me, family. I want to see if I can play this for you. If not, I'll just have the link in the feed. You all can go and listen first. Okay, I have it. Let me know if you guys can hear this, if it's okay as far as the volume. Share my screen now. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to play this from the beginning.
I'm not going to fall in love with you. But you can't have them all now. Because very well,
It's about a 7-minute long clip. Let me know if you guys can hear it when it comes on.
his brother RIZZA, if you're listening, I wish you very well. A very handsome brother. Highly intelligent. But you've got to bring your moral standard up. Because the women are going to fall in love with you.
This is Louis Farrakhan.
But you can't have them all now. I don't know how Solomon made out. I don't know how long he lived either. And she'll kill himself with the 1,000 concubines. But I'm not envious of Solomon. And you know, when you understand who a woman is and what a woman is, please, brothers, don't mess with them. Don't mess over them. are from God, but they can be from the devil if you don't treat them well. Sisters, we're going to get into that September 16th. The sister is charging you, brother, with rape. That's a horrible challenge. But to my sister, look with yourself. You were engaged to that man. According to what I read. And you allowed him to stay in your house. You allowed him to lay down on your bed. And he laid down beside you. What the hell is going on here? And get angry with you because you act like the savage that's just a quarter of an inch under your skin. See, you bring the nigga out of us and then act like you did nothing. If you engage don't mean come to my room, get in my bed, and I'll lay beside you and nothing better happen. You're a damn fool. Now, when you started acting up like you wanted something, RIZZA, no, stop. See, when you get the nigga up in a man, and you were telling stop, well, what the hell are you doing? Getting me in this condition mentally and telling me stop. You got to be a hell of a man to get that close and stop. Sisters, you need to mind yourself. You want to pull down a good man, then you got it. But I bet you he ain't gonna marry you. If you want a man, don't give him a damn thing but the greatest. And get the greeting with your eyes lowered. Our women are beautiful, man. You can't lay beside one of our women. And even the ugliest one you think is ugly, lay beside her and say, no, don't do that. You better come to class, careful our class, and learn how to be a good man. So, Brother RIZZA, I very much love you, and I respect the good work that you do, but don't mess it up by being immoral, because you're handsome and highly intelligent, and you win arguments. Good. But you can't win an argument with God and His law. And you have to answer to the law.
All right. So listening to that, this is Louis Farrakhan, right? We know the power of his voice, right? And one of the things that I always contended with, with dealing with organizations, is that many times when things like this happen, they sweep it under the rug and we never hear about it, right? Never hear about it. Now, there's been some mixed stories as to whether this particular situation was supposed to get out, as to whether it was supposed to be for everyone to hear. But I'd be remiss if I didn't say that RIZZA Islam's influence had gotten so large. I think it's bigger than the Nation of Islam by far. I'm going to say this, and I also, and this is not in any defense to RIZZA Islam whatsoever, because I don't know whether he did what he did or not. I just noticed a trend. I'm really good at noticing trends, and I always pay attention to them. When I start to see people in the Nation of Islam rise to a certain level, there always comes this turmoil within the organization between that person and the nation, whether it be Malcolm X, Muhammad, Arif Muhammad. Anytime somebody gets big enough to create their own energy and their own movement prior or bigger than who is there prior, the main speaker, such as Minister Farrakhan, we see this trend of cancel culture that plagues that individual throughout their life. Every single time. Now, I myself have watched this man, RIZZA Islam, praise Louis Farrakhan, right? I've watched him do this numerous occasions, and sometimes this is my gripe with individuals. Like I've spoken to him several times, right? I have RIZZA Islam's phone number, right? We're on good speaking terms. But always in my mind, right? I always felt like he was intelligent enough and presentable enough to where he could have his own movement and not have to deal with the organization. Now, he has his history in Scientology as well, so he was already doing his thing, family, before he got with the nation. He was already a humanitarian. He was already, working in the community and doing things like that. So it's always been my contention to look at the situation like this is just his nature of who he is. Now, I can't tell you what people do inside their bedrooms. I have no idea, what happens in a situation with him and his fiance, right? The person that is accusing him is his fiance, allegedly, right? So I can't tell you, what a man is capable of. right? And this is the reason why people look at Jamaar Milton and they say, well, why don't you unite with this person? Why don't you unite with that person? Unity, unity, unity. Let's unite. This is the reason why I don't do that, because I don't know what people are capable of on the flip side, right? So a lot of times, people can't tell, who is who. People can't tell what people are capable of and who people are, even sometimes years, after knowing them, right? You ever been in a relationship and 5, 6 years down the line, you're like, who are you? Right? Like you never know. You don't know what you're dealing with, right? You never know a man, you never know a woman, especially when you're dealing with like love and sex and relationships and things of that nature. Now, I do know that the Nation of Islam has very strict rules about fornication, right? Very, very strict rules. I mean, they're very, very. But I mean, let's talk about it. Premarital sex in the Nation of Islam is strictly prohibited. Right? In fact, they say the woman and the man who fornicate scourge each of them 100 whips. And in the matter of God's religion, let no tenderness for them seize you if you believe in God in the last day, and let a party of believers witness their punishment. Right? So this is what they say should happen to a man and a woman if they fornicate, or i.e. have sex prior to being married in the nation. They should be whipped. You know what I'm saying? So when we're looking at, this kind of stuff, you can't help but to say to yourself, like, the standard at which they're holding themselves to is very, very high. Very, very high. And, and in some cases, people can even say unnatural. You know what I mean? Not that sex before marriage is an unnatural thing, but the proper education of what marriage is literally sexual intercourse. That's what marriage is, according to nature. According to nature, marriage is sexual intercourse, right? It's not no jumping of the broom or putting a ring on somebody's finger, right? The moment you lay down with somebody, you're married, right? The moment you fornicate with somebody. So some of y'all are in multiple marriages and don't even know it. Yeah. Yeah. Let's clap to that. Some of y'all are in multiple marriages. You see what I'm saying? And you bringing baggage from one, situation to the next. Now, I don't know the dynamics of RIZZA Islam relationships. I really don't care. But I'm more concerned with how it's being dealt with, afterwards. If he did do that, he deserves to be punished to the fullest extent of the law. Let me say that. We love black women over here, and we don't play no games with black women. We don't play about them. So I'm going to be very clear in terms of that. But then at the same time, I feel like because of what RIZZA Islam has done, right, for the Nation of Islam on behalf of Louis Farrakhan. I mean, every other word out of his mouth, he says, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan teaches us, right, or Elijah Muhammad, right. So I feel like because of the work that he has done on behalf of the nation, especially over the past couple of years, that they owe him more than that. I feel like Louis Farrakhan owes him more than the way it was being handled. To use words that, strong words, basically call him a nigga, like, you know what I'm saying? In their world, like in our world, it's not that big of a deal. It's like whatever. But you have to understand the dynamics of being in a nation, who hold themselves to such high standard. To me, that type of wordplay was disappointing, even to hear from Louis Farrakhan. It was like, it's like, wow, you're doing a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if RIZZA Islam wanted to say something publicly, then he could have said something. You know what I'm saying? He's really the voice of the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Like Louis Farrakhan, he did his thing. We love the work that he has done, but he's on his way out. He's on his way out. That's the reality. That's the truth that we have to face. He's on his way out, and a new generation, a new spawn of intellects are being birthed. And RIZZA Islam, I think that we can all agree, arguably, was the next guy. So you can't help but to think that there's a possibility of some jealousy or envy, there to where, to have an immediate attack like that publicly, it's like, I don't think that it was warranted, not at least at this stage. Like if he stood to be convicted, and end up getting then okay, let's make the public statement about who this person is. But he hasn't gone to court. He hasn't been judged. We don't even know the full extent of the story. All we know is that this woman says that, that he raped her, right? Now, with not desensitizing that at all, right? So now, moving forward, how I look at this situation is like, this is why, family, minding your own business and doing your thing is not a bad idea. You don't always have to unite with people or link up with people simply because they're doing good things in their universe, right? Sometimes you got to allow that to play out and let them do what they do. You see what I'm saying? Because when you look at what's going on in the past with our leaders, and he's not the only one. Like, we're not just putting light on him, right? He's not the only one. There's remember remember in the beginning a couple of years ago when we all was doing our thing, there was a bunch of us that were out there, me, Young Pharaoh, RIZZA Islam, just to name a few, Brother Polite. These are all the names that they were throwing around. Omar Johnson, like they was throwing all these different. When I first came in the game, they was comparing me to Queen Afua. Queen Afua. I didn't even know who she was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got nominated for a Black Power Award when I first, started doing my thing in the community, and I was like, who is she? And she had been doing work for a number of years, right? And they had me in the same category as her. You see what I'm saying? So some of these people have been out for a while. So I was still trying to learn, who's who while I was moving throughout the community. You know what I'm saying? Hear little things here and there. You know what I'm saying? And just trying to, maneuver through, find who's good, who's not, you know what I'm saying? Who's really working, who's really not working, and only really link up, with the ones who's really about it, right? Who share the same frequency. So, I linked up with a lot of people, and every single time I linked up with somebody, in the end, I ended up getting disappointed. At the end, they ended up doing something crazy. You know what I'm saying? We started seeing, assaulting people and fraud cases, scam cases, and all sorts of stuff just started popping up on these individuals. So then, now, me as being an endorser, as an ambassador and an influencer, I'm just promoting these people. Like, I'm not thinking about what they got going on the side or what they're doing in the background. I'm just trying to help the community. You see what I'm saying? And plug people in with people that are making moves, that are doing great things. But sometimes what happens is, these people that are doing these great things are also doing things in the dark that are just as potent, but on the bad side, right? And we don't know about it. We don't hear about it, until it hits the fan. You see what I'm saying? It's just, the way I look at it is there's so many different ways to look at this particular situation, because, even if I put myself, I'm very objective. I can put myself even in Louis Farrakhan's shoes. You trying to protect your organization and show that that's not what you're about. I know what that's about. I've had people in the lighthouse that do some grimy things, and I have to check them. You know what I'm saying? I have to check them. You have to be vocal, about your approach sometimes publicly, to let people know, hey, listen, yeah, this individual did something wrong, but our organization does not stand for that, right? so I look at the Louis Farrakhan situation. I look at Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, in the same fashion. Like I understand he's a leader and he has to, sometimes you gotta cut dead weight. Sometimes you gotta cut the grass low so you can see snakes. Like I understand all of that. You know what I'm saying? That whole dynamic. All these things exist at the same time. They all coexist in this matter. You see what I'm saying? Um, but at the end of the day, your brother is your brother, right? Your brother is your brother, and there's a way that I think that this could have been handled a little with a little bit more class, I would say, um, and I don't think that it was his call yet to say something on it, right? Until it became public through the avenue of RIZZA, right? I think we should hear from him before we hear from Louis Farrakhan. That's just my personal opinion, right? You don't have to, agree with it, but I just feel that we, the work that he has put in, warrants us to take a slower look into this. Now, like I said, if we find that he has done this, to this woman, he deserves to be punished to the fullest extent of the law, just like anybody else. We all loved R. Kelly, right? We all loved what he did in his workplace, but when you're doing things like that, it's like any attack on a black woman is attack on any actual civilization. So it's like it's counterproductive to the movement that you're actually attached to, right? So we can't have that, going on, you know. But I look at it like, when a woman says something like that, and she's your fiance, and she's actually pressing charges, it's kind of hard to disprove, right? Like it's kind of rare that it's not real, right? For someone to be that close to you, to charge you with something like that, it's hard not to believe. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's just, he's in a tough situation. So, the most that we can do, on our end on behalf of the brother, is send some positive energy this way. Hope that it all works out. Um, and that's really that all you can do in this kind of situation. What's done is done, and hopefully it's not true. That's really all we can stand on at this point in the game. Uh, but yeah, we have to, separate ourselves from this type of activity, um, and even this type of drama. Just even having the allegation alone, right? Whether it's real or not, is something that is heavy. It's heavy on a person's career. It's heavy on a person's shoulders, um, you know, and their image. You know what I'm saying? Um, you never know. You never know, and I just can't imagine. Because I move around here. I'm blessed enough to not have any cases ever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Jamaar Milton has never caught a case. I don't know. I never caught a case in my whole life. You know what I'm saying? I've had people try to judge my character. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's very damaging. I've had people try to judge my character, right? While they got a whole full blown criminal record of all the stuff and the people that they violated over the course of their life. I ain't never violated my body in that way in my life. My life. Like the R word, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not Denzel Washington, but I ain't never had no problem if I needed to get it in bed to get in bed. Like, I ain't never had no problem with that. But to take it from a woman, that's just kind of crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't know what these guys is doing out here, but to take it from a woman, that's just unfathomable. I just couldn't even fathom it. It's unfathomable. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I see a lot of black leaders, a lot of leaders, and they got a slew of cases. I tell people, like, the conscious community is a safe haven for a lot of criminals. Like, I'm trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying? and we're in no shape, form, or fashion calling RIZZA Islam a criminal at this stage. Like, everybody deserves to go court, and innocent until proven guilty. Period. You know what I'm saying? Um, but there's a lot of criminal activity uh, going on in the conscious community, and that's why that was another reason why I slowed up and I took my break, right? Because I kind of needed for a lot of this stuff to play out, right? When something is brewing, right? Where there's smoke, there's fire, and sometimes you just need it to play out. You know what I'm saying? Cheryl Lee says, I may be wrong, but wasn't Elijah Muhammad accused of the same? Don't recall hearing Farrakhan ever speaking on it. Yeah, Malcolm X accused Elijah Muhammad, right, of having multiple babies and stuff like that, with other women out of wedlock or whatever, allegedly. And, yeah, there was no big talk on that. You know what I'm saying? But then again, he was the head honcho at the time. But, these conversations are being had. These events are happening, and these court cases are very, very real. That's, this is not hearsay, family. Like, he's charged. Like, this ain't, I'm just saying this, right? He got to deal with the police now, right? This is for real, for real. I think a lot of times we look at it and we think that it's light, or they try to sweep it under the rug. Like, no, we're not fitting to do that. Not if you're going to have a leader moving around here, right? Talking to the people and encouraging the people to go down a certain direction. You can't be having cases of you sexually assaulting women. Like, that's just not going to fly, like, in any shape, form, or fashion. Like, no. We could talk about all the other stuff, people want to talk about, that they talk about. But first, this has to be cleared up before we can talk about anything else that you think that we should do, right? See, when you're a leader, right? When you're a leader, you have a greater responsibility to the people, first and foremost. What does that mean? That means when you fall short, right, of what is your task is and your calling and what you're supposed to do, there's a greater punishment. There's a greater punishment for leaders than there is for the lay. See what I'm saying? There's a greater punishment for leaders because leaders are supposed to know better, right? You're supposed to know better. If the rules of your organization say that there's no sex before marriage, you're not even supposed to be in the room. Now, the second thing that I don't agree with is how he came at the woman too, right? Almost making it seem like it was her fault for this happening, right? He was like, you let him come into your bed, and you try to make him turn it off, right? He kind of alluded to that, and almost like, it was her fault for allowing him to do that to her, right? Like, I was brought up with the slogan "No means no." No means no. That meant if you guys are kissing, making out, boom, 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 when it gets to a real hot level, if she decides, to say no right now, it still means no, and you're supposed to have that discipline. That's how I was raised, right? And I've been in those situations. Abort mission. You go home, blue balls, beat one off, and lay your ass down, right? Mission aborted. Okay, mission aborted. This one didn't work out tonight, right? It didn't work out, right? You got more work to do, right? I was raised like that. You see what I'm saying? That you abort mission. Louis Farrakhan's words, right, was kind of alluding to, woman, it's your fault for getting him hot and bothered. Like, it's your fault. Like, I don't know, but if it's a woman that I'm planning to marry, of my fiance, it wouldn't take much for her to get me hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, she could just be washing dishes, or something stupid. It ain't got to be nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Simple stuff. You know, so a smile. A comment. Like, those are the things. Like, those are the type of women that you marry. The ones that get you hot and bothered over the smallest things, right? Her actions, the things that she does. So, it doesn't take much for a guy to get there. So to look at the woman as if it's her fault, just the way she looks alone could set a man off to that degree, right? We see it all the time. Women walk down the street and guys see them and they just can't help themselves. You know what I'm saying? Right? So we can't blame the woman, for that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they were in the act already, they're already in it. And now she's like, no, boom, boom, boom. It's like, damn, like, we already here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even then, you might have to stop. You know what I'm saying? Things happen. She gets out of the mood while she's in the mood. You still got to stop. You just can't blame, the woman for that. I just don't. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. You know what I'm saying? I just think that, if you want to take down a leader, anytime a leader is taken down, it's usually by the hands of a woman, 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Transcendental, right? Transcendental said, when you're really into someone, everything is sexy, right? So to ask her to turn off her sexy, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's his fiance. He's gonna come over the house. You know what I'm saying? It's his fiance. So he's gonna be at the house. He might even spend the night, hang out. Like, they're literally getting ready, to be married. It's like all these different points that that to me that Farrakhan was trying to make didn't stick. Like, it didn't, to me, especially on the woman, it just didn't do it for me. And I wasn't jacking it. I wasn't jacking it at all. I couldn't respect it. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like it could have been better. So, in conscious news, this is probably the biggest thing you're going to hear that's going on this week. RIZZA Islam was accused and allegedly charged of sexually abusing his fiance, and Louis Farrakhan spoke on it. He put an actual recording out to all the mosques. It was on the Scientology website. I mean, this is freaking everywhere, and it's disappointing to see that happen right now at this stage of the game. So from a comedic standpoint, we look at the black woman as what they would call God. We look at the black woman as the Most High, right? The divine feminine energy. If you're a male, that divine feminine energy is your consort. If you're a female, the divine masculine energy is your consort, right? Yeah, J.N. says some men don't understand that even continuing to apply pressure to a woman when she has told you no is displaying sexual aggression as well. Disgusting. It's true. It's true. You know what I'm saying? No means no. Like people have the right to change their mind at any given time. Yeah. It could cause issues if you let it go too far and decide to change your mind, right? So at a certain point, there is no turning back, right? But there's a point where if you do decide to change your mind, that man has to stop. It just is what it is. No means no. You know what I'm saying? Like they said. Now, some people are on the lines, like people say it sounds like a setup, right? So let's deal with Krishan Rogers' statement. He said it sounds like a setup to me big time, right? And here's the thing. They do have the power, if they wanted to do that, right? That's another thing, right? When you're dealing with organizations this big, there's another issue here. If they wanted to, they could line you up. They can line you up. You don't think they could send a female to you? Right? I mean, you're dealing with a culture that does arranged marriages sometimes, right? So if they wanted to line you, they can line you, and that's why I'm always going to give the benefit of the doubt to him in this situation until he's literally convicted. If he's not convicted, right, I'm not jumping out the window because I know how these boys get down. I know how these boys give it up. They will do anything to protect that organization. Understand that, right? And they will do anything to protect the name of Louis Farrakhan. Understand that. This is the truth, right? And that's the issue when you put your emphasis or your value of what it is that you know on your association to someone else, right? Like nobody could ever come in and just like destroy Jamaar Milton. It can't happen. I built my own infrastructure, right? I'm me, right? I'm the bag, right? I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man, right? My name is like my brand is me. It's different. My brand is not, even the shrine of Ma'at, right? I'm a Kemetic priest at the shrine of Ma'at, but my brand is not based on the shrine of Ma'at or how a leadership in the shrine feels about me. That's not what brings value to who I am. You see what I'm saying? So when you place all of your value on the work from being done by an organization, at any time that organization can cancel you. At any reason, if they feel like they want to cancel you, they can line you up if they're that powerful. But we have to look at this as a community thing, as a village thing, and you have to make a statement in cases like this. I hate making these kind of statements, but you have to, because you have to lay down a law. Because like I said, when people see you, and they see you associate with certain people and be in certain spaces, then they be like, oh yeah, those guys do this, those guys do that, right? As you can see, this is 2019, family. This is pre-COVID, as you can see, when I was working with this brother, right, amongst other people. This is pre-COVID. We was getting people ready for what was about to happen, right? So this brother, he's in tune. He knows what's up, right? And I have the utmost respect for him as a person. Like, we went out to the city. We had a good time out there. We was dancing in Times Square. We had a good time. He's just a really good, genuine brother, in my opinion, to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've dealt with several people from the Nation of Islam. And to me, RIZZA was the realest. The realest. The realest. Right? At the end of the day. Right? He's one that I would call, that I still had to develop a relationship afterwards and call. Right? So, it's just my contention, to the best of my ability, to stay clear of that kind of energy. I don't want that kind of energy in my organization. Anybody that's capable of having those type of tendencies and things going around, I don't want it around my organization. My organization is primarily Black women. And, I don't want that type of energy even lingering around if it's legitimate. You know what I'm saying? So for me, until it gets, aired out and the smoke clears, I can't associate with that type of energy at all. At all. When we start talking about frequency and vibration and you get to a certain level, you can't mix certain light energies, right? Because it will affect you whether you like it or not. It's going to affect you. So you always have to keep that in mind, and, I think that sometimes we look at it like, we're not trying to tear nobody down here. You know what I'm saying? If anything, we're trying to build, right? But to build, you have to set boundaries, right? If you go to a construction site, you don't just see a building being built without some cones around it, without a barrier, right? A fence around it, some type of gate or a guard, right? Because they building something, it has to be protected. So anytime you're building something, you can't just link up and associate with any old type of energy that don't resonate with what you're trying to do. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes people get offended by that, right? They're going to be offended by your moves because you're trying to protect what it is that you're building or what it is that you've even built, right? So you got to have that thick skin, right? And you got to stand on something. If you don't stand on something, you fall for anything, right? You got to stand for something in life, and say, you know what, this is my square, and I don't deviate from that, right? So, with that being said, family, that's what's going on this week in the news, and I'm sure we're going to hear more about this in the near future as to how this plays out. We have what do we have for you guys today? Okay, so the coin purses are going out today. Actually, in a few minutes. Those of you who ordered yesterday after 4 p.m. If you order today, you can get your coin purses delivered to you today. Shipping is same day. We only have a few of these left because we sold some yesterday of the ones that we have left. So these are the coin purses, okay, that we have for you guys. I have all different. I can send you all the ones that we have. The Ma'at ones are gone, and the Metanetter ones are gone. So the ones that we have left are the Kemetic musicians. We have Ramses, Bast, Tut, the Sphinx, and Nefertiti. These are the ones that we have left. Chrissy says she finally got hers and she loves it. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. This is how we do what we do. Yes, they are beautiful. This one is gone. My art is gone. These are gone. This one is sold. If you would like to place your orders, those are $20 for the coin purses. And we also have the meditation bracelets as well, family. We have them for the entire family. Anybody that wants a Lighthouse Power bracelet, our meditation bracelets, these are the ones that we wear, right? We have them for men, women, and children. Okay, you can get a bundle pack for the family for $119. You can get the men's for $75, the women's for $50, or you can get the kids power meditation bracelets for $30, only $30. So we have all those available to you if you want to order any one of these, the AHA bundle or the single bundles. Just hit me up in my inbox on Facebook. Yeah, you can hit me on Facebook or you can hit me on Instagram, and we'll get those orders to you. I want to shout out also to the new members, all the new members that came on board that have ordered their power bracelets. You pretty much not a member unless you got a power bracelet. That's like the minimum. When you pull up to a Lighthouse event, you got to have a bracelet. Otherwise, you ain't no Lighthouse. Everybody in the Lighthouse got one. They got one of them bracelets or something. So definitely tap in with the merch. That's how we keep our business going, doing what we're doing. It allows us to move around and do what we got to do. So, Poji said, I was just going to say that. Yeah, everybody, even the OGs, everybody pulling out their bracelets, the OG bracelets. Yolanda says she been wearing hers 5 years straight. Stop playing with them. Stop playing with them. And can y'all attest that your life has changed since you tapped in with the Lighthouse and really started delving into the knowledge? If you have, go ahead and put it in the feed. Go ahead and put it in the feed. Let the people know and show them, how we've been giving it up. Those who have joined the Lighthouse, we've watched them grow, from a grassroots level to doing some amazing, amazing things. It's just unbelievable to see, people started businesses, moved on, had relationships, gained relationships, networking, all sorts of things that we've been seeing, happen in the Lighthouse. It's just been great. But I appreciate everybody for the support, everybody that's been, really, really delving into what it is that we actually do and participate. Appreciate you guys. New music coming out October the 15th. It's called Sundress. I can't wait for you guys to hear that. What else is going on? April, we're looking to go to Iceland. That's the next lighthouse power trip that we're looking to do. Um, if you guys are interested in traveling with us, lighthouse power trips, our trips are official. If you're interested in traveling with us, hit me in my inbox. We're looking to go to visit the northern lights of Iceland. Now, y'all know I've had an extensive study on those electromagnetic currents in the sky, and leading the months leading up to it. We're really going to start delving into it to really gear up for the trip. So if you guys are looking to travel with us and have some fun and really connect with people of the lighthouse, hit me up, because that's going to be the next Lighthouse Power Trip 2013, coming up April the 8th through the 11th. April the 8th through the 11th. So hit me in my inbox. So if you need merch, or if you're looking to travel, or just get connected with the Lighthouse in general, hit me up and I'll give you the instructions on how you can move forward with that. So with that being said, family, I got to get out of here. I love you guys. That's the news for the week. Thank you for being here all week. So this is the protocol. Monday through Thursday we'll do class, and then on Friday we'll talk about the current events going on in the conscious community and throughout the world. And who knows, we may even implement some of that more in the future on later days. But that's going to be the schedule moving forward. That's how we're going to do it. I appreciate you guys. I love you. May the divine force in me be the divine force in you. When you manifest every heart's desire, I'm going to let it run, so you guys can tap in with each other. All right. I see you, Tenny. Tenny needs a bracelet. I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. All right. So I love you. Peace. Have a good day. I'll play some music for y'all so you can play now. Which I want to hear. I want to hear Black and Proud again. We got Black and Proud. We got Shaka Zulu. We got Talk to Y'all. So I want to hear Shaman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what? Let's play Walk Up. I feel like hearing Walk Up. What about y'all?